Hi again, guys. This is today's maths lesson. As we're coming to the end of our block of work on our written methods, what I want to do today is just practice our fluency. So each of the written methods that we've worked on over the last few weeks, we're just going to look at our method and see if we can use that method correctly. This is the hot task, basically. We're not going to apply this to any problems yet. It's just simply using our method. So we're going to recap first. Our addition method, nice and simple in columns. When we have our sum, we look at the place value and we must make sure that we line up those columns correctly. Ones underneath the ones, tens underneath the tens, and so on. Then always start from our ones column and we can fill in underneath. Now 9 add 2 gives us 11. So we need to place 1 in that column, carry the 10 forwards. Again, 9 add 2 is 11. This time we must remember that carry forward to add on. So 9, 10, 11, 12. 2 in the box, carry the 10 forward. 4 and 3 gives us 7. Don't forget to add the carry forward. Gives us 8. 7 and 5 gives us 12. So 2 in the box, carry 1 forward. Finally, 2, add that carry forward, gives us 3. So an answer of 32,821. The vital thing is starting from the ones column, always making sure we don't forget to add those carry forwards on. Okay? Pause the video. Here's a few for you to practice. Next, let's recap our subtraction method. Again, we line up those columns always correctly, ones underneath the ones and so on, but it's vital that we get our bigger number on the top of the sum, like so. Then again, we start from our ones column, taking the lower number away from the top number. Now 5 subtract 9, we can't do in a column subtraction number, in a column subtraction calculation. It would take us into a negative number. So this is where we need to steal. We steal 1 from the 8, so that becomes a 7. Our 10 drops back into this column. So 15, take away 9, leaves us with 6. 7, subtract 1, leaves us with 6. Now 0, subtract 4, again we can't do because that would leave us with a negative number. And we can't steal from this column. We have to steal all the way from this end. So we steal from the 4, so that becomes a 3. This column turns to a 10. We then steal from that 10, which becomes a 9. And this column becomes a 10. Now we can do it. 10 subtract 4 leaves us with 6. 9 subtract 6 leaves us with 3. And 3, we've got nothing to subtract from it, leaves us with 3. An answer of 33,666. Again, pause the video. There's a few practice questions for you to have a go at. Now moving on to our multiplication methods. We're going to start with the short multiplication. This is where we're multiplying by just a single digit number. So we'll only need one row here for our answer. This is all about knowing our times tables well, isn't it? The more secure we are with our times tables, the better we are at multiplying. First of all, we take the 6, we multiply 6 by 5. We look at the ones column first. 5 times 6 is 30. We put the 0 into that column, but the 3 from that 30 we carry forward into this column here. Then we move on to our tens. 6 times 3 gives us 18, but then we need to add on this 3. 19, 20, 21. I cross it off so I know that I've used it. 1 in that column, 2 carried forward into the next one. Then we have 6 times 6, which is 36. Add on 2, cross it off, gives us 38. So 8 in the column, 3 carried forward. And finally, 6 times 2, our final column, 6 times 2 is 12. Add on this 3 is 12, 13, 14, 15. Cross it off, 5 in there. We don't need to drop it at the top, we can drop it straight into the box. That leaves us with an answer of 15,810. When we're working on long multiplication, we're timesing by a 2-digit number. Because we're timesing by a 2-digit number, we're going to need a row for each of these numbers. So we need the top row, another row, and then a final row for our added up answer. Let's start with the top row. At the moment, we're going to ignore the 50. We're just going to use the 2 and do the method that we just did on the previous slide. 2 4s are 8. 2 8s are 16. So we put the 6 in, carry the 1 forward. 2 2s are 4. Add that 1, gives us 5. And then 2 times 1 is 2. 2,568 for the top row. I'm going to change colour so we can see this a bit clearer. Now we're going to times that number, 1,284, we're going to times it by this 5. But it's not a 5, is it? It's a 50. There's a 0 hiding under that 2. So we need to drop that 0 down to here. That's a common mistake which lots of us slip up on sometimes, forgetting to drop that 0. Now we can multiply the number by 5. So again, start in the ones. 5 times 4 is 20. So 0 down, carry the 2 forwards. 5 times 8 is 40. Add the 2, gives us 42. 2 in the box, carry the 4 from the 40 forwards. 5 times 2 is 10. Add on the 4 is 14. So 4 in the box, carry the 1 forwards. And finally, 5 times 1 is 5. We need to add on that 1 to give us 6 in that box. Okay, we're not quite finished yet. We need to actually add up our final answer. So we can ignore the numbers at the top now. We can ignore the numbers that we've crossed off because they've already been used. That's the important reason why I cross those out, so we don't accidentally add them on. Now we just need to add our 2 rows together. 8 and 0 is 8. 6 and 0 is 6. 5 and 2 gives us 7. 2 and 4 gives us 6. And 6 with nothing else to add to it gives us another 6. So our final answer, 66,768. Pause the video. There's a few multiplication methods for you to practice. Finally, we're going to look at our different division methods. So first of all, short division. This is where we're using just a single digit number to divide. Okay, so 1,785 divided by 5. We use our bus stop and we start with how many 5s can we get into 1? Well, we can't get any, can we? So if you want to put a 0 there, you can. Some people leave it blank, that's okay. But the 1 carries forward into this next column. Now we look at 5s into 17. Now if we think of our 5 times table, 3 lots of 5 are 15. That's as close as we can get. So 3 lots of 5 are 15, but then we've got 2 left, haven't we, to get to 17. 15, 16, 17. So that 2 remainders carries forward into the next column. 5s into 28. Our 5 times table again. So important, our times tables. The closest we can get is 5 lots of 5, isn't it, which is 25. So 5 lots at the top. From 25, we've got 3 left to get to 28. So carry that forward. Our final step, 5s into 35 is 7. There we are. Now lastly, we did this a little bit yesterday as well, our long division method, where we're dividing by a 2-digit number. Our first step is to put the first few from our times table down the side. We might need more, but just do the first 5 or so. So there's the first 5 from our 13 times table. 13s into 1, we can't do. So we look at 13s into 17. Okay. Now 13s into 17, the closest we can get is 1 lot, isn't it? 1 lot of a 13. So we'd put 1 at the top. We put that 1 lot, 13, underneath and subtract it from the 17. 7 subtract 3 leaves us with 4. 1 subtract 1 is 0. We drop our 4 down to leave us with our next step. 13s into 44. The closest we can get without going past is 3 lots there, isn't it? 39. So we put our 3 lots of 13 on the top. We put our 39 underneath to subtract away. 4 subtract 9, we can't do that, can we? So we need to steal. That becomes a 3. 1 across from 14. Then 14 subtract 9 leaves us with 5. 3 subtract 3 leaves us with 0. We drop our final number 2 all the way down. For our last step, 13's into 52, which is 4 lots. That's our answer. Okay? Pause the video. There's a few division questions for you to practice. Now for your independent work then. I've put on this slide 16 questions. Now I'm not expecting you to necessarily do all 16. If you want to, then by all means you can. The questions get progressively harder and more challenging from number 1 up to number 16. I'd like you to aim to do 8 of these questions as a minimum. Okay? So if you want to start from question 1 and do the first 8, that's fine, you can do that. If you're feeling really confident, maybe start from number 9 and do the final 8 questions. If you're feeling a little bit in the middle, maybe start from number 5 and do the green box and the orange box. Wherever you feel comfortable. But as long as you do a mixture of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division sums, and send me how you get on, and I can give you some feedback. You're doing really well with these guys, so be confident, challenge yourselves, and have a good go. Okay?